back to homegrown. Today we're going to bottle some chicken. So this is the prep work. Right now we're just washing all of our jars. I'm here with my friend Jay Brackett. She's over here doing all of the jars and getting all the lids. So we're gonna put all of the lids in a pan with hot water and we're gonna boil those, okay? And I'll show that a little bit later. We just put all the rings in a box for now, and then we're washing all the jars. Okay, so we're gonna get all that prepped before we start cutting up the chicken and getting it ready. So we're gonna go ahead and start with, I have 40 pounds in a case here of chicken, boneless, skinless, and I'm just gonna cut it up. And it doesn't have to be any reason or rhyme. I'm gonna just kind of chunk it up into smaller pieces using my shears. These are my Cutco shears, but any old regular kitchen shears will be great. You can use a knife and a cutting board, but I'm lazy, so I don't. If this little skin part bugs you, you can just cut it off and get rid of it. And then you just keep going until your bowl's full, and then we'll start filling our bottles. Okay, so we're gonna start filling our jars. You get your chicken that you just freshly cut up, and just start really plopping it in until you've got it about halfway full, and you're gonna be messy. I have a rag here to kind of keep it as clean as I can. I'm gonna put a half a teaspoon of the bottling salt in it, right in the middle of the jar, okay? So your canning salt is what you put in. Otherwise, if you put regular salt, it'll discolor your bottles. So make sure you buy the right kind of salt. I like to do this in pints. You can do it in quarts. In quarts, you'd use a full teaspoon, and you process it a little bit longer for quarts. These are perfect size for 1 mil for my little family of 5. So perfect size. All right, once you got your salt in there, you're gonna go ahead and fill your jar up to the first line here. It's kind of a big bump line. That's where you're gonna fill up your chicken. You don't wanna go past that. You do wanna kind of smash it down and make sure you get the air, most of the air bubbles out, okay? And then usually that alleviates some room for a last piece. Then you're gonna take your clean rag, wipe the top of the bottle off, and for now we're gonna set that aside until we're ready to put all the lids on and get them pressurized. All right? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the water started for the pressure cooker. You want it boiling before you get your cans in. So make sure this is in the bottom of your pan, okay? It should come with it. And then you're gonna put a tablespoon of vinegar in. This is gonna help make it so your jars don't go white, okay? Then you're gonna put 3 quarts of water in the jar and start it on the stove to boil. You're gonna go ahead and get a quart jar right here. Fill this 3 times into your pan and then go ahead and put it on the stove and get it boiling. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and get the lids on and the rings on all this chicken, and then we can get it in the pressure cookers and start processing it. So I'm gonna get a fork and just kind of separate my lids. They've been boiling, so this was boiling. Just set it on there nice and tight, and then tighten your ring. It doesn't have to be uber tight, but you want it just hand tight. Okay, and you're just gonna go ahead and keep getting the lids on those until you're ready to put them all in the pressure cooker. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and start filling the pressure cookers. I have 2 pressure cookers here. This one will have actually 2 levels of cans in it, and this one only will have 1. So it depends on the size of pressure cooker you buy. This one will hold up to 18 pints, and this one will hold 9 pints. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just set those in the boiling water here until I've got it all filled up. And like I said, you should be able to fit 9. If you have wide mouth jars, you may only fit 7 or 8. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, hey, even extra. Perfect. So then you're gonna go ahead and get the lid, okay? Your lid looks like this. You don't want this part on yet. It eventually goes right here once steam starts to come out. Make sure this is clean and free of nicks and cracks, okay? Because if it's cracked, you don't want to use it. So this is your sill. And then you're gonna line up this little arrow right here. There's a engraved arrow if you can't see it in the video. And it lines up with the arrow on the handle right here. Okay, so arrow to arrow. You're gonna go ahead and seal this tight. Okay, make sure you can see your pressure gauge here. And you're gonna wait until steam starts to come out of this little spout, and then you're gonna stick your weight on top. And then once this pops up, you'll see your pressure start to rise. Okay, if you're using a larger pressure cooker, the 23 quart, you're gonna get your first layer of bottles in, and you can only double it up if it's pints. So I've got my first layer of pints in. I'm gonna go ahead and stick another rack there on top of the bottles. And then I'm gonna just start doubling those up, okay? So you can actually fit 18 to 20 jars in this one. And it's the same prep as before, 3 quarts of water with 1 tablespoon of vinegar. And then you're just gonna keep filling this up until it's full, and you'll put the lid on the exact same way. Okay, so I've got steam coming out of here, and it's starting to puff here a little bit, so I'm gonna go ahead and plop the weight on there, and that usually is gonna have this pop. So once this pops, you're gonna start to see your pressure rise here. So this is popped. Now my pressure's gonna go ahead and rise. Now I'm at 2,700 feet, so I'm gonna wanna cook my between 12 to 13 pounds of pressure, and they're pint jars, so you pressure cook them for 75 minutes. But that's once you've hit the pressure. Once your pressure's hit 12, then you start your timer for 75 minutes, and then you'll start depressurizing it up. So my first pot is at 12 pounds. So I'm gonna start adjusting my temperature so that it stays at 12 pounds. And then I'm gonna go ahead and start my kitchen timer for 75 minutes. So you're gonna hold it at 12 for the whole 75 minutes. So you're gonna have to kind of stay close and adjust up and down so that your temperature stays there. You will hear the boiling water, and you might hear the bottles expanding, so you might hear a few pops. Don't freak out. I have broken one before, I'm not gonna lie, but it didn't ruin the rest. So just ride it out until the end. It'll all work out. It'll be okay. All right, so timer's going off. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn off my stove. And you can do one of 2 things. You can leave your pan here to cool off, or you can move it. If you're feeling strong, you can go ahead and move it. I'm going to, because obviously we've got a lot more to get going processed. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this onto my counter, and it's still got a lot of pressure on it. I'll turn my pressure gauge so you can see. It's still got the full pressure. So this is gonna just sit and depressurize. Once your little thing goes down, you're safe to take the lid off and start taking them out. When you're ready to take them out, you'll use this because your bottles are still gonna be real hot, and then you'll be putting them out onto a towel. And we'll show you that part too. So once your pressure hits 0, you can take this off. Okay, it'll take a few minutes, and then your button pops down. Once your button pops down, you can now move your lid. You won't be able to move your lid until the button pops. Okay? Be careful on this next part. Steam will burn you. It's really hot in there. I usually get burns right here. So have a spot to put your lid, okay, away from you. You want to go straight up as much as you can and just straight over. Okay? These are going to be really hot. Use a little grabber, okay? And you can just grab a hold of the top and just set them right over there to cool down. At this point in time, you're going to start hearing, as they cool, you'll start hearing your lids seal. That's a good sound. That's what we want. Okay? And you're just going to go ahead and keep taking all those out. And if you have more, you can measure out your water and use the same hot boiling water if you want, but just make sure there's always 3 quarts in here. Okay, and then you can just add it right in and start your next batch. Okay, in the canning book that comes with your pressure cooker, this is the altitude chart. So if you're between 2,000 and 4,000 feet, you're going to pressurize it at 12 pounds and then on down. So there's the chart. I thought I would throw it there. It does, the book does come with your pressure cooker, so it should be on page 43 of your canning book. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Okay, so here's your finished product. 40 pounds of chicken made 40 pints. Okay, so 40 pint bottles. Our chicken was really, really lean that we did this time. That was kind of a heavy number. I've never really got 40 pints. So you should be able to get about 20 quarts or 40 pints out of the 40 pounds of chicken. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment, share, subscribe, like my video, and make sure you tell all your friends to like my channel.